just want to know, was it worth it? Oswald Cobb, man of the people.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Movie Fanatics video. And today we have the season finale of The Penguin, episode 8, called A Great or a Little Thing. Before we get started, please be sure to go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button, and most definitely share. Penguin, episode 8, A Great or a Little Thing. Y'all tired of, I know y'all probably tired of me saying this, but another freaking phenomenal episode where I will say that you want to root for Oz as a character, but at the same time, you got to understand that he is not a hero. He is not an anti-hero. He is a villain. And I feel like in this episode, it really emphasized on that, all right, y'all, we sat down and we watched this whole freaking season of the Penguin, and we was technically rooting for him. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was rooting for him too. But then when we get to this one, all right, I'm gonna reel y'all back in. He's a villain, straight up like that. So we begin the episode off with the flashback of Francis right after the death of Oz's his two brothers, and we have Rex sitting at the table with Francis, and Francis tells Rex, that's the gangster back when Oz was little, that she knew that Oz killed his two brothers by obviously the flashlight in Oz's pocket when he came back from just leaving his brothers from the tunnels. So Rex basically broke it down to her like, look, you have a choice to make. Do you want me to take him out, or are you okay with living with that guilt of the fact that you know that Oz killed your other two sons? So Francis literally was sitting on that for God knows how long, and she literally hated Oz for killing her two youngest sons, but she really couldn't do anything because she's kind of like stuck in between a rock and a hard place, where it's like, he's still my son, and it's really like she like enabled and molded Oz and into what he is, and vice versa, where she's sitting there living with that guilt, and she basically is giving him a fake personality, I would say, as him coming up into being the person that he is in present day in this particular series. So we get back to present day after the flashback, and we kind of almost have like a confessional session where we both have Francis and Oz tied up in the jazz club that Francis took Oz when he was a kid for Rex to take him out, and basically it comes out that Sophia knows. Lily tries to play this dirty little game with Oz to force him to confess. Sophia's goal was to get Oz to confess to the fact that he killed his brothers, and she just wanted to get it out in the open, almost to like make him suffer for basically what he did. And in the long run, Sophia ended up getting somewhat of her wish, where she turned Oz's mother against him. She stabs him, and literally Oz is just left heartbroken, and Frances just passes out and bumps her head, just trying to leave after stabbing Oz. So Oz breaks free and ends up shooting up the place, completely missing Sophia, and takes his mom to the hospital. Gets in contact with Vic, which, by the way, Vic rallied up all of the gangs that they built this coalition with, and they all go to Crown Point, and they're all under the realization like, look, Oz is dead. We got no product, no bliss. Like, there is no reason for us to continue to do business. Now, one thing that I will point out is the fact that the Triad's underboss, that's a Link, that's Zal's underboss, Link, he saved Victor's life, and that was a very, very key point where, like, look, you got to know your place, buddy, before you end up getting yourself killed. So clearly, Link has sympathy for Vic as far as like being that underboss and being underappreciated. So after Oz gets away, Sophia sits down and has a meeting with all the underbosses, including the Triad, that was in the coalition that Oz formed, and said it straight like this: like, look, whoever brings me Oz, I'm gonna let you have Gotham City. Like, I'm like, Sophia's like, I'm done with Gotham. I want to leave. That's it for me. So clearly, all she wanted to do was get revenge for her brother's death and revenge for herself, obviously, for the fact that Oz basically is the reason why she ended up getting locked up, even though she did snitch. She did talk to the press, but Oz is basically the one who snitched on her to Carmine Falcone to get her framed into killing those women. Ended up locked up in Arkham Asylum. So this is where this thing took a turn for me, because I'm thinking Link, the triad underboss. I literally thought that he was gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and be like, we go take over Gotham City. We just gotta bring Oz. I thought he was gonna exploit a weakness, exploit something with Victor, where, hey yo, where you at? He literally calls Victor when they're at City Hall. Calls Victor while they're at City Hall, because to see, so I guess lure Oz into a trap so he can make that exchange with Sophia. But Oz sits down with, it was Councilman Haiti, who turned the power back on in Crown Point in episode 6, if I'm not mistaken, episode 6, and literally painted this story where Councilman Haiti could take all the credit of what's going on in Crown Point. Boom, you cut the power back on. You're looking out for the poorer class of Gotham City. You have answers to what happened with this bombing in Crown Point, where everything is put on Sophia, where it paints the perfect picture, where you have her truck in the bomb debris. You have already an open case with the Falcones already dead. You have the Maronis there. Like, everybody knows that there's this big mob boss war going on between the Maronis and, well, obviously the Falcones, but technically the Gigantes. But it's all, they don't know that they settled that. So it all comes into full picture how Oz just puts this in a perfect way for himself to end up on top. Now, as Oz is coming out of City Hall, here Link comes, takes Oz to meet with Sophia at an airstrip. And again, like I said, this took me. I was thrown off by this. This was definitely a twist for me, where Sophia thought that she had it, and then the double cross ends up happening, where Link takes out Zhao. That's the leader of the Triad, and obviously they have a common goal here, where Link again goes back to him being underappreciated as an underboss. He gets to rise up into being the head of the Triad in Gotham City, and obviously they have Victor and Link had like a mutual respect for each other, where that encouraged Link to help out anyway. So everybody's taken out. Sophia's just there. Look, Oz literally has Sophia right where he wants her, and literally just takes her on this last ride like they used to be back in the flashback in the Sentani episode. Phenomenal episode if you didn't watch it, by the way. Takes her under the bridge, and Lily's about to execute her, and then he lets her live. And I'm like, that's freaking smart, because you, like, the one thing that really was the worst thing that you could do to Sophia at this point, like death would basically be a mercy for her, is to send her back to Arkham Asylum, a place that she did not want to be. She was there for 10 years, and she shows it almost every single episode that's like her biggest fear was to go back to Arkham Asylum. And by Oz placing everything that happened in Crown Point and some on her, he just shaped it up so perfectly, where Oz leaves the scene, the police show up to arrest Sophia, she goes right back into Arkham Asylum. Now we get back to the hospital. At this point, he finds out that his mom had a stroke, and she's in a vegetative state, where it's like, damn, what my mom wanted me to do was to take over Gotham City, and I did that. Like, and he has nobody to celebrate with. The one person that he wanted to celebrate with is unconscious. Well, she's conscious, but literally cannot is not functionable to really enjoy this W with Oz. All that's there is Victor, which we get to Victor now. Those two literally sitting down and having a moment together almost in every single episode. They sit down and they have like a mentor and mentee, mentor and apprentice moment where it's just like, it was so beautiful. And this is where things take a little turn, where it's like, again, like I said at the beginning of this video, it's like you want to root for the guy, you want to root for Oz, and then it's like at the end you're being reeled back in where you got to remember my man is a villain. Remember that he is a villain, and he literally strangles Victor. Is like, look, I can't have no weaknesses, so you got to go. So like literally at a drop of a dime, just like that, it's just like, okay, this motherfucker's an asshole. Excuse my language. But we transition. Sophia, she's in Arkham Asylum. Julian rushes there, and he hands her a letter from Selena Kyle, saying that she is Sophia's half sister. We're gonna get into conspiracy theories in a later episode. A later video, but we're gonna transition, and we're just gonna we just gonna leave it at that for now. We're gonna leave it at that for now. Trust me, I got a video for that. I got a video for that. So be sure to stay tuned for that one. But we transition to the end. Oz is in this penthouse suite, like he's living in power, like he's the king of the city, and has his mom in her own little room, gets her perfect penthouse view of the city from where she's sitting at. Basically, he got a friend. He got a friend in City Hall where he could possibly run for mayor now, and he's right there in Oz's back pocket. That's Haiti, Councilman Haiti, and where it's like we got the bat signal, leaving the penthouse of Oz's penthouse, where an episode where we have like this big huge cliffhanger where so many endless possibilities, whether it be Batman 2, whether it be Selena Kyle and Sophia Gigante, like it's so many different things that we have to consider. But I'm going to leave it at that because I'm going to say this for a later video. So let me know what you guys think. You know what it is. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This is the Movie Fanatics. I'm up out of here, man.